This podcast is powered by the pros at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
Trying to figure out what's going on with Muss, and I think right now fans are just a little bit nervous or wondering whether or not he will continue to be the Arkansas head men's basketball coach.
Yeah, I wish I had a definitive answer on that because I'd run out there and race and tell everybody. But I do think there are certain jobs that if they were open, that he'd certainly give consideration. You have to do that. You know, that's just how the system works and all that. I do think that in knowing him like I do, I think he would definitely not like to leave here on this type of note. And he did make it fairly clear after the game that he was going to go to work. And this is the day. This is the day that basketball coaches get to work or really, throw it into overload with the portal opening. I was just sitting here thinking how nice it was that for the first 30-plus years of my sports writing career, there was no such thing as the portal.
Yeah, well, that's not the life we lead now, is it?
Not at all, not at all.
Hey, Dudley, did you watch the SEC tournament? Were you surprised at Auburn's victory? How far? I mean, the SEC got 8 teams into the big dance. Who out of the SEC you like to maybe make it to the Final Four?
Well, even though Tennessee didn't show up, and I thought they, with the defense they played, that they would have been able to get through the tournament. Of course, Kentucky was always there and getting it done, but didn't this year. Those first 3 seeds all went out. Auburn is playing really good basketball, regardless of what you think about Bruce Pearl as a person or what he's done in the past. He's always been a really good basketball coach. He brings his guards along during the year. That's certainly what's happened now. And really, Johnny Broome is as good an inside player, I think, as we have in the league in terms of his all-around play, being able to step out, make shots, and all that. So, very impressed with him. But, yeah, I think Auburn's got a real good chance. I think Kentucky got a nice draw. I think if they, if their talent plays up to its potential, then they've got a chance to go on a run. And again, I'm still, think that Tennessee has all the things they need to get it done. I just didn't understand. I was watching that game the other day. I just didn't understand, what was going on there because it was like it was Space Jam and the superpowers got sucked out of them somehow.
Tennessee, South Carolina could be a pretty interesting Sweet 16 matchup if it gets there. Carolina, as a number 6 seed, felt a little bit odd. Second place in the SEC, great defensive metrics, but I guess they didn't have a really great strength of schedule outside of the conference. They didn't have a really great net ranking. And they had some blowout losses. I mean, a 40-point loss, although that's to a good Auburn team. I wonder how long South Carolina can last in this tournament.
I like their team, and certainly they hit a wall there. It looked like to me, toward the end of the season. As you mentioned, that loss was, I think an outlier. But I really like their coach. I think he did a great job. I don't think there's any other choice to be the SEC Coach of the Year when you think that they were picked dead last in almost all the preseason rankings. And, for the longest time, they were right there at the top, went into some buildings like Tennessee and won. I think South Carolina's got a chance there. Now, that being said, it's just once you get in there, and you guys know this full well, it's the breaks and the matchups and all that sort of thing. If they can get into a game at the tempo they want to play, and they can try out that 1-3-1 a little bit, kind of help them as well. I like their choices, but man, I tell you what, I'm a Ric Flair guy, and to be the man, you got to beat the man. So right now, I haven't filled out my bracket, but I think I'm gonna put UConn at the end of it again.
UConn's tough, man. That Newton, he's a 5th-year senior, their guard, and they have a big. They're methodical in what they do. I'm with you, Dudley. It might be if UConn has to beat themselves. What did you make of this Texas-Tennessee second round matchup? You think the committee knew what they were doing there?
Absolutely. I mean, they can always tell me they're not and all that, but those are certainly really good storylines. And as a sports writer, I appreciate when they do that. And I do think that sometimes they just do it out of spite at times. But I think that'll be intriguing. I've had the opportunity to actually sit and talk with Rick Barnes for a couple hours while in Brooklyn one time, and I've always been a big fan of his. I know that I think he does a great job. He's certainly gotten the tag of not being a postseason coach because of what's happened recently. But I've always thought he's a good dude and a good coach. And if I was going to pick one team out of the SEC to get there, it'd be Tennessee, I think.
I got to ask if you know anything that's going on with the women's roster right now. Talia Scott entered the portal earlier today. I think everybody expected that was coming. The situation with Sailor Poffenbarger, though, is much less straightforward. Right now, I think people are questioning if she's still on the team. You don't see photos of her and photos that the team is putting out from practice. And, I mean, look, it's also just a reality of college sports now. The portal's open, so if you don't see photos of her and you wonder, well, why is your top rebounder not being featured, people will wonder about that.
Yeah, I can't wait to get in a press conference setting again. And, I think we'll get maybe some more information then, but was not surprised at the Scott decision. That's been clouded in mystery too. I think you're probably a little bit closer to the situation there than I am, but that's clouded in mystery for the all year, and for a phenomenal player, for her to only get to play that many games this year. Certainly injuries played a part of it, but there's something else going on there. And I think, I've never tried to tell anybody I'm not friends with Mike Neighbors, but friends with him long before he was a coach here. I think he's a good dude. At the same time, when you have these situations, roster upheaval, not coming down the stretch, with any momentum, the fact that you did make the NCAA tournament, those are questions that, are rightly being asked by fans. And I think, they'll take an all-encompassing look at the program. I'm not going to sit here and say he's definitely going to be back. I'm not going to say that he should, but I do know that there was a lot of variables in there this season that did not quite come off the way you would have wanted to, starting with the situation with Jersey and Sasha, and those were a couple of your rotation players. But it's you can't just sit here and say do the Niedermeyer thing and say all is well.
I like how you put it there. What about, we got a text in here from Seth. He wants to ask, what do you think about the Cardinals extending Oliver Marmol out of nowhere? You don't see contract extensions for baseball managers at spring training very much.
Yeah, and then it's John Mozeliak's explanation of they might get off to a slow start, and he didn't want people questioning if what would happen if they get off to a slow start. Well, goodness gracious, what is your job? Your job is to put a great roster on the field, to have a manager. I know that the Albert Pujols and Yadi Molina things are looming out there as possibilities to come on and coach later on. But I didn't get it at all. Surely there's got to be some outs in there where they don't pay as much money, but it is, to me, I guess probably it's something similar to a lot of these coaches get the vote of confidence and they extend their contracts. Somebody got extended the other day to 2027. Can't remember who it was, a basketball coach that, I didn't think had any need for that. Sometimes they do it just for publicity. Sometimes they do it to try to give that coach thing. But was I for that? Absolutely not. I'm not sold on Ollie. I want him to succeed because he's the coach of my professional baseball team. But, yeah, I just don't get things sometimes. But these are people who have more money than me and make decisions that oftentimes I don't agree with.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.